Hey, what is up, guys? I am having a little technical problem here. You guys probably noticed that I restarted the stream. I can't tell if it's working. I see Jay Chambers on here. Jay is saying it is not Monday. What's up, guys? Looks like it is working, so that's awesome. Yeah, so we are now doing the Carey University live stream every Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Maybe Tiffany will join me one day. Maybe not. She's not feeling good today, so that's why she is in bed, hanging out. So let me know once you guys get on here. If it is working, tell me who you are, what color underwear you're wearing. No, don't tell me that. What's up, Greg? What's up, Jay? What's up, Scuba? Good to see you guys. So we are just going to be hanging out, answering some questions about guns, about concealed carry. This is a nice surprise. Okay, well, that's good. Good. Nice to have a nice surprise. What's up, Dan? Good to see ya. Make sure if you guys are brand new to the Carey University YouTube channel, make sure you guys subscribe. What's up, Sean? Good to see ya. Greg Perry is sent. Oh, Greg says he is wearing pink underwear. Greg, I expect nothing less from you, Greg. No guns. Lost them in a boating accident. Okay. Renee said it's a nice surprise. Awesome. Working good on Facebook. Okay. Awesome. So if you guys got some questions, post them in the comments down below. So I want to pose a question to you guys first, though. Had a young man in the class on Tuesday. He said he was obviously getting his concealed carry permit. When I asked him why he wanted to carry a gun, he said that somebody is stealing stuff around his house. So I want to know what you guys would do. So I said, okay, what are they stealing? And he said, I've got some Louis Vuitton slides, so slippers, that were on the back porch. So that's interesting. So that means the person had to go into his backyard. They stole them and took off. And he said he's got cameras, but he didn't see the person actively taking it. So I said, if you would have seen on the camera the person actually stealing the shoes, what do you think you would have done? So post a comment down below if you saw somebody stealing something like a lawnmower, tennis shoes, your kid's bicycle. What would you guys do? So I asked him that question, and he kind of paused for a long time, and I said, you know, in real life, you're not going to have this much time to really think about it, right? You got to make a decision. And he said, well, I would probably, so Greg says, call the police. That makes sense. Renee says, call 911. I agree. He said, I would probably go outside and I would fire a warning shot because this person is on my property. I think we can all agree that or is that a smart idea to go outside and fire the gun and actually fire a warning shot? I think it's extremely dangerous. I personally don't think it is justified under Florida law because we are not allowed to use a gun or threaten the use of gun just to defend our property. The only time we are is if we are trying to stop the imminent commission of a forcible felony, which is treason, murder, manslaughter, sexual battery, all that fun stuff, right? Lots of you guys are posting on here. Let's see. Call the police. Cannot shoot for stealing. Okay, that all makes sense. But, you know, in the heat of the moment, these are the really high emotion moments that I talk about a lot in my book and in my videos and stuff. We get very emotional. We get upset. And it's very easy to run outside with a gun and use a gun and then realize you made a big mistake. There's this really big false belief in the state of Florida that just because somebody is on your property, that you're allowed to shoot them, fire a warning shot, which is never allowed, or even threaten that person with a gun. This is why it's so important for us to really think about what are those high emotion moments. What are the things that could potentially happen in our lives and in our day-to-day kind of activities so that we can prepare and figure out what we are going to do under the law and what we are never going to do. So anyway, I thought it was a very interesting, tell him to leave and you'll call the police. I'm not sure what that means. You know, I have a lot of people come into my class that say the wrong thing because they have a false belief, right? I would never kick somebody out for that unless because my goal as an educator, right, which is part of my job, is to identify the false belief, identify the things that they are believing that are wrong, and then try to correct them. The only time I have ever told somebody, I will not do business with you, you have to get out of my class, we'll refund your money, you just got to go, was a guy who, when I asked him why he wanted to carry a gun, he said he works in downtown Tampa. He takes the Veterans Expressway every night to go home. And he said there's this one guy every night. And this was before they did the expansion of the veterans, right? So there used to always be a ton of traffic. It was just a big deal. He said there's this one guy. Every day it is a massive road rage issue with this one guy. And he said the other day he swerved at me. I'm getting my permit. So the next time I see him, I'm going to shoot him. And I was like, bro, are you like confessing to a potential murder here in a group with 50 people? And he was I was waiting for him to laugh. I was waiting for him to say, I'm just joking. He was dead serious. And I finally said, listen, man, we're not the right company for you. Like, I'm not getting on TV being the guy that signed your concealed carry certificate. So anyway, we just made him leave. So crazy. All right, let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments. If your life is not in danger, call the police. Yep, I agree. Now, to be very honest, I'm a bold person. If somebody is stealing off my property, I'm going to walk out there and I'm going to tell them to stop. But would I physically... Now, a guy, you guys have probably heard this story. It's on my YouTube channel somewhere. Our UPS driver started banging on our door one time right before Christmas. And she said, Ryan, because we knew her, right? She said, Ryan, somebody is stealing your children's bikes. So I ran outside, like no shirt on, probably just in underwear, ran outside. The guy had 2 of my kids' bikes in his truck, and he had 1 bike in his hand. I ran out, and I was like, F you, man. I grabbed the bike out of his hand. I threw it in the yard. I grabbed the other bikes out of the bed of his truck. I threw them, and I was like, who the hell do you think you are? So that was probably dumb, but anyway, that's what I did. Yeah, bullets come back just as fast as they go up. Very good point, Floyd. You just never know. Turn on all the lights and make Alexa make the police sound. Technology, right? Technology. I do think turn the lights on. That'll scare most people. Okay, so Facebook user says, now before I answer this question, a message that I got on the app that does this for me. It's called Restream. I posted it the very first post of the chat. You have to authorize this app to be able to show me your name. So that's why it shows Facebook user. So if any of you are on Facebook, you want me to actually see your name, you've got to click on that link at the very top to allow me to see your name. So here, let me see if I can find it again. I applied for my concealed carry permit back in September, and I still have not heard anything back. Is there anything I can do? Yeah, you need to call the state of Florida, and you need to ask which is easier said than done. You will probably be on hold for an hour or more, and they may not even answer the phone. They may just hang up. But eventually, once you get a hold of somebody, you need to give them your control number, and then they are supposed to tell you what the status is. Now, under Florida law, the state of Florida has to approve or deny your application for a concealed carry permit within 90 days. So if it's past that 90-day window, they have some explaining to do on why it's not getting processed. Okay, what is your understanding of Florida Statute 790.251, protection of right to keep and bear arms in a motor vehicle? Can an employer search your vehicle if they believe you have a weapon in your vehicle on a company parking lot? That's a great question. And can they terminate you for that? I talk about all of this in my book, Florida Concealed Carry Law, but it is illegal for any employer, any employer, to prohibit a customer or an employee from possessing a firearm in a personal vehicle while parked on their property. Now, many employers, one of my students recently said that his employer made him sign a document saying he will never have a gun in his personal vehicle parked on their property. Well, that's illegal. I've heard of businesses, insurance companies, searching people's cars. In fact, Disney got in trouble for this many years ago. Disney was searching employees' cars after they were leaving work to make sure they weren't stealing like movies coming out and stuff like that. And if they found a gun, they would fire you. But that is illegal. Your employer is not allowed to terminate you. I think I have a YouTube video on the Carry University YouTube channel that talks about this. It's definitely in my book, but read through that. I break down all the statutes. Okay, so Tanner says, hey, Ryan, I was actually wondering if you know any websites or online marketplaces where there are private sellers that sell firearms, kind of like Craigslist, but for guns. I'm looking for a used one. Yeah, so in Florida, the big ones are Florida Gun Trader, Arms List, and really, I think that's about it. I personally, this is my personal belief, do not believe you will ever get a good deal on any of those websites. Those websites, I've tried to buy and sell guns on there. It's people that are, the people selling guns are selling them for stupid high prices, ridiculously high prices. And the people trying to buy guns want to buy them. They want to negotiate and they just want to lowball you. Honestly, I think it's very frustrating, but those are the two websites. Okay, let's see. Mine was sent in October and they issued in January. They blame COVID. Nobody cares. So the law, it doesn't say you have to submit or, approve a concealed carry permit application within 90 days unless there's a global pandemic. It just doesn't say that. So they have to approve or deny within 90 days. And if they don't, in my opinion, I'd say go talk to an attorney because you may have a lawsuit on your hands. Can you keep, so Renee says, can you keep a gun in your trunk in a bag while you're dropping off your kids at school? Renee, in my opinion, the answer is no. So I don't know if I'll be able to find it real quick, but the Florida law basically says that you are never allowed to have a firearm in your vehicle while parked on school property. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Now, it does say that it's up to each school district to choose whether they want to waive this requirement or not. But here's what it says. It says a person shall not possess any firearm, electric weapon or device, destructive device, or other weapon, and then it gives the definition, including a razor blade or box cutter, except as authorized in support of school-sanctioned activities at a school-sponsored event or on the property of any, so property of any school, school bus, or school bus stop. So definitely do not have a gun on your body or in your vehicle when you are pulling up to drop or pick your kids up. Okay, let's see. Are there any exemptions to that? I assume you're talking about the employer restriction. There are some exemptions. Some employers are allowed to prohibit possession of a gun on their property. This would include a prison, a police station, let's see, a detention facility, a nuclear power plant, the port, obviously a school, or federal government. So like the VA hospital, a military base, something of that nature. Good question. All right, so Sean says, what do you think about cops being able to seize someone's firearms without a warrant? That's bullshit. Like, that's illegal. Is that happening? Do you know of that happening? Are you referring to a red flag risk protection order, or is that something else that's happening? Because that, I don't have to, listen, if I'm not being detained, then I don't have to talk to a police officer, right? If you don't have a warrant, then you are not allowed to come into my house or do whatever to me. It's just not the way that our America works. What happens if I'm concealed and I go get a medical marijuana card? Would I lose my concealed, or what exactly happens? You become a felon. You commit a felony. That's what happens. So the state of Florida is not allowed to match up. So like the Department of Agriculture, which is who manages concealed carry permits, they don't get notified when somebody goes and gets a medical marijuana card. But under, I believe it's United States Code 18 U.S.C. 922, that is what prohibits a person who is an illegal drug user from buying, possessing firearms or ammunition anywhere in the United States. Again, I talk about this in depth in my book. I also have lots of YouTube videos about this, but you are absolutely not allowed currently to be a user of marijuana, whether recreational or medically, and own and possess firearms. Now, if you guys do not have your Florida concealed carry permit yet, and you're concerned about your family, if you really want to keep your family members safe from the violent people that are in the world, you need to get your Florida concealed carry permit right now. And Carry University, we make the process super fast, Super easy. Simply click that link down in the description below. That's the wrong link. That link right there, carryuniversity.com. Click that link. Take your class right now for the low price of only $20. All right, let's see what other questions we got. And if you guys have questions for me, you can visit that link right there. Now it's the right link, carryuniversitylive.com, and submit your questions to me. Ryan, will you violate a federal law if you drive by a school within 100 yards? Yeah, great question, Dan. So under the Gun-Free School Act, I believe it's 1,000 yards, that you're not allowed to drive through a school zone. You're not allowed to discharge a gun within 1,000 feet of a school. State of Florida does not recognize that, thank God, because it would be impossible. I turned down a random street today, and I was like, oh, there's an elementary school here that I've never seen before. So if that law was in effect, I would have been a criminal, and I was simply driving on a public, very busy road. So that, thankfully, is not something we have to worry about in the state of Florida. Okay, can I shoot my P365 BB gun in my backyard? Yep, my boys have been harassing me for the last 2 days. They have a Red Ryder, I think is what it's called, Red Ryder BB gun. And we can't find our BBs anymore. So they shoot it in the backyard all the time. But I can't find the package of BBs, and they are very angry. Like, Dad, buy us more BBs, please. Okay, currently in Abu Dhabi. I was stationed in Abu Dhabi for a while. So Wilson, he lives in Florida. Okay, cool. So I was stationed in Abu Dhabi. It was the hottest damn place I have ever been. Like, during the day, it was a solid 130 degrees. And Abu Dhabi, just so you guys know, it's in the United Arab Emirates, and it's the capital of UAE. Most people know of Dubai, right? Dubai is close, but anyway. So it was hot. It was hot. What can we do to stop HR 127? Nothing. You can't do anything. Unfortunately, right now, what's happening in the American society is that we have the perfect storm. This is what I've been talking about a lot. After my live streams tonight, I'm going to film a video about this, but I'll give you guys a little sneak peek into the video. We're in the perfect storm. We have an anti-gun Congress. We have a tied Senate, and the tie-breaking vote is a extreme anti-gun person. And we have an anti-gun president who Biden claimed that he was going to pass radical gun control on his first day in office. Now, he didn't do that. And I believe the reason that they haven't done it yet is because they are waiting for public sentiment. I believe they are waiting for one big shooting, something terrible and horrific to happen. And just like Nancy Pelosi said, never let a good crisis go to waste. I think another guy said that from Chicago or whatever too. But I think they're waiting for that. That's going to garnish that public opinion. And I think they're going to ram through probably a very powerful bill like HR 127. The only thing that can stop it is the filibuster, okay? Is the filibuster and the Supreme Court. But what are they trying to do right now? They're trying to remove the filibuster from the Senate, and they're talking about packing the Supreme Court. So if those two things happen, they can ram through whatever they want. All right, so what's the law on shooting on your own property? I live in Fort Myers. Okay, great question. You are allowed to shoot a gun on your own property as long as you have as long as you have 1 acre of land per residence. So if you have one house, and let's say you have 1.1 acre, you are allowed to discharge a firearm on your property as long as you are shooting into a berm, so a pile of dirt. You know, every responsible gun owner wants to know where that bullet is going to stop, right? Now, let's say you have 1.5 acres, but you've got 2 properties, 2 mobile homes on it. You would not be allowed to shoot on that property because it is 0.75 acres for each residence. So hopefully that answers your question. Okay, Tanner says, what gun do you conceal carry most of the time? And what guns do you recommend for concealed carry? I've been looking into it a lot, and there are just so many options to choose from. So this is my concealed carry gun right here. So this is a Glock 19 Gen 5 Trijicon SRO, and it's a, what the hell is this called? Tier 1 Concealment Axis Elite holster. So that's what I carry every day. I'm a big Glock dude, so Glock 19 is great. Glock 43X is amazing. Some people talked about the SIG P365. I think that's amazing. You know, there's a lot of good guns out there. Just don't buy a Taurus, please. Please, Jesus, don't buy a Taurus. And yeah, I know, Tiffany. Okay, so Sandy says, got to go buy an acre. Yep, I agree. Tried to email yesterday about my Olight I won. Okay, Tiffany responds to all the emails, so email her again, but she's pretty good. I know today, I had a massive headache today. I didn't do much work today, and Tiffany hasn't been feeling very good, so maybe she just missed that. Can Florida follow Missouri? I don't know what that means, so rephrase that question, and I'll get back to it. What's the best lockbox for a vehicle? Chris Scott says. No cables or cheap locks, something that can be fastened to the vehicle. You know, Chris, I have been waiting to do this, but there was a company that I saw. I do not know the name, but there's a company that sells a safe that you have to remove the center console and like all the plastic parts inside your center console. The safe is custom fit. It slides in and it actually bolts to the frame of your vehicle. It was expensive, so it was like $500-$600, but it was pretty neat. So you'd have to do some searching. I don't really know, but I would check it out. Oh, Sean Ross says that Palmetto State Armory has a P365 in stock right now, so that's pretty cool. It's a hard gun to get, so I would check it out. My thoughts on the Glock 26, Dan says. Glock 26 is cool. I owned one for a very long time. What I don't like about the 26 is that it's very thick while at the same time very stubby. So I just feel like there's not enough for me to get my hand on. I really just prefer the Glock 19 or the Glock 43X. I think those are like the two perfect sizes for my hand. I think the 26 is just too thick and too stubby. So anyway, hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, lots of people saying the 43X shoots great. Okay, so if a person is allowed to carry at a business that they own, what if they own a bar? Yeah, great question. So a business owner that owns a bar is allowed to conceal carry or open carry at their bar. And that business owner is allowed to grant permission to the employees of said bar to conceal carry or open carry a gun, in my opinion, of course. So always talk to your attorney if you own a business. Make sure they strategize so you don't get some big lawsuit or whatever. But you're allowed to do it because I think there's a presumption that the employees of the bar are not consuming the alcohol. So, and again, I talk about that in my book. All right. Let's see. 9mm is definitely getting sparse, and the price went up $10 a box this past week. Yeah, so I've been seeing 9mm for like $50 for a box of 50, so $1 a round, which is crazy. Now, you guys got to learn from this mistake. I have probably 5,000 rounds of 9mm, a couple thousand rounds of 5.56 and 7.62 by 39. So you got to buy all this stuff when it's available so that you're not overpaying in times like this. So hopefully learn that lesson. Is Florida an open carry state? Valerie says. Sort of. And I know that's not a great answer. Again, I talk about this in my book, but Florida, in one statute, it says that open carry is prohibited in the state of Florida. And then in a different statute that talks about lawful use, it actually lists, I believe, 15 different situations when you are allowed to open carry. So some of these situations would be if you are fishing, camping, or hunting. If you're on your way, we'll hold on to that. So fishing, camping, or hunting. If you're going to a gun show, gun club, gun shooting event, shooting clays, stuff like that. If you're at your business or a business owner's giving you permission. If you're at your home. And then there's a couple others. And then one of the final ones, it says if you're on your way to or coming home from fishing, camping, hunting, a gun show, a gun club event, something like that. So again, you can see the entire list in my book. But you are allowed to do it. Please use extreme caution because you will scare most people. So just be careful. So Facebook user says, will banning ARs and AKs be on the ballot in 2022? Yeah, it's on the ballot right now in 2021. So we have the Florida assault weapons ban, which I have a video on the Tampa Carry YouTube channel about that. They are coming for it. You know, this is a ravenous dog coming after a bone, and they are not going to stop. They perceive AR-15s and AK-47s as the low-hanging fruit that will be very easy to garnish public opinion on why they don't matter. And frankly, they're brainwashing people right now that you don't need and shouldn't own those items. You want to know why we should own them? Because they're fun, because they're awesome. But the biggest reason is because of the Constitution. The Bill of Rights, the Constitution, our founding fathers believed that all men between the ages of 18 and 45 were members of the militia. And as a member of the militia, if you were called forth to serve, to defend your community or area, it was on you to bring the firearm in common use of the time and ammunition to shoot that firearm. What is the common firearm of today? It is an AR-15. So that is why, according to the Supreme Court, an AR-15 is protected by the Second Amendment. But they're going to keep coming for it because that's just what they do. Hello, can you answer my concealed carry question? Sure, ask a question. Is it legal to build your own gun in Florida? Yes, it is totally legal. You can build AR-15, 80% lower. I've got a buddy that's building some AK-47s from scratch, which is extremely difficult. So yes, totally legal. It's just hard. Okay, so Chris Scott says, will you clarify parking on school grounds with a firearm? How is it to be stored correctly? I have nephews that use a high school to play flag football, not an employee or a student. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You are never allowed to have a gun on school property, period. It doesn't matter what you're doing, and it doesn't matter that the school is closed. You know, one of the videos I posted on the Tampa Carry YouTube channel, I don't know what the title is, but it talks about this kind of gray area that's been happening where one of my friends, he's actually a congressperson, his name is Ross Spano. So the church that he goes to, he has a school attached to the church. So it's a Christian school. Because there's a Christian school on the church property, even on Sunday, when there is no school kids there, the school is not in session, no one at that church is legally allowed to carry a gun on their body or in their vehicle unless they're a sheriff's deputy. That's just it. So this new bill that's been proposed would void it for a church. So if a church had a school on its property, that church would be allowed to have a gun there on Sundays. So your situation, your nephew or whatever, playing flag football at a school, you cannot have a gun on you, in your car. Doesn't matter how it's stored. It is not allowed to be there. Okay, so Tanner says, do you know if a Chiappa Rhino pistol is any good? Yep, they're awesome. I know they're very expensive, and my uncle has one. He spent over $1,000 on it, but I've never shot it. Have you ever shot one? Yep, I have shot them. They're awesome. Looks like a space gun. So yeah, very, very cool. Okay, thoughts on the Stevens 320 Security 12 gauge. Dan says, you know, Dan, when we start talking about like defensive shotguns, I'm always going to tell people don't buy the bare bones, cheapest shotgun that's out there. I don't know, maybe you can tell me real quick in the comments how much that gun is selling for. But if you're looking for a good quality shotgun, you want to buy a Remington 870 or a Mossberg 500 pump action. Those are both great shotguns. Now, we used to sell them at our gun store back in the day for $250, $300. That's pretty cheap. So yeah, Dan says $300 for that gun. It's not worth $300. If you can buy a Remington 870 for $300, it is a superior gun than that Stevens. So I would not ever own a Stevens. I would go buy a Remington 870. Okay, so KM Vid says, if I have a Florida non-resident, do I need to reapply for another one when I move to Florida? Good, very good question. So no, all you have to do is then convert that non-resident permit into a resident permit. So you just got to contact the Department of Agriculture. You could probably do it right on their website, automated. They're probably going to ask you to update your picture. You're going to pay a fee of $25, and then they'll mail you a Florida resident permit. Yeah, I'm in the hunt for a Mossberg 500. Yeah, you'll be able to find them on Gunbroker. So Gunbroker is like, for those of you that don't know, is like eBay for guns. So you can search any gun, you will find them. And typically, I'm still, like, I help many of my students buy guns. So I'm still finding pretty decent deals on Gunbroker. You just got to kind of shop around a little bit. Okay, any other questions? No? Okay, a couple more. Missouri House passed a ban on enforcement of federal gun laws. Can Florida do the same? Interesting. I'm going to check it out. So Texas, like, submitted a bill like that, but I didn't know Missouri passed it. And I guess just because the House passed it in Missouri, the Senate would still have to pass it, and then it would have to get signed by the governor. So it doesn't sound like it's law yet. But yeah, I think anything is possible. I think it's sad that we even have to have a law to enforce following the Constitution. Doesn't that seem really silly to you? But that's the path that we're going down. So yeah, I think the only way we can really get our leaders here in Florida to do that would be to really push them that that's what we want. I waited 2 months. Okay. Have you heard if the concealed carry turnaround has improved yet? Or is it still running? Yeah, it's taking about 90 days. For most people is what they're telling me is 90 days. Because Nikki Fried, who is the person in charge there, is a very poor leader. She is very inefficient in what she's doing. And she, frankly, is making excuses. She is blaming her inefficiencies on COVID. And frankly, you're full of it. You're full of it. This process, you should still be able to get it done. By law, you have to get it done under 90 days. So stop making excuses and make stuff happen. But 90 days. Okay, I don't see any other questions. So while we're waiting for some other questions, I'm going to give away 2 copies of my book. So post in the comments, Florida concealed carry law, right in the comments down below if you want to win the book. Make sure you guys share this live stream so we can kind of grow this channel. I'm actually pretty impressed. I'm excited, happy for you guys. The Carry University channel has been growing really good lately, so I'm very happy. So let's see. John says, I heard the Smith and Wesson re-release the M&P 1522. Have you ever shot one? Yeah, I love it. It's a great gun. I'm looking to buy one for my boys. I think they'd really like it. If I'm in a parking lot with my children and someone approaches us and tries to take my kids, if I brandish my weapon and yell, stop, you're supposed to yell, break yourself, fool. From a technical standpoint, that's what you're supposed to say. So if I yell, break yourself, fool, and the person stops the attack, what can happen to me? Nothing. It's a great question, but nothing. So that is not brandishing, because that is displaying a firearm in a justified self-defense situation. Because if I'm trying to kidnap your child, do you have a legal right to shoot me? The answer is yes, because I am committing a forcible felony, which is kidnapping. So it's not brandishing. Now, you guys have heard my story before of the guy that tried to stab me when I was with my 2 sons. When he pulled out the shiv and tried to stab me, I pulled out my gun and I said, you're going to effing die. The guy dropped the weapon and he took off running. So I picked up the weapon, put it in my pocket. I followed him while I was on the phone with police, and the guy eventually got arrested. I had a legal right to shoot and kill him, but it doesn't mean that I have to shoot and kill him. Remember, our goal is to use as little force as necessary to stop the attack. So hopefully that answers your question. So I see lots of people in here. Let's see. Oh, man. That sucks. So I guess we're going to have to figure out a different way to do this. All right, so I'm going to give it to Mike Dorian. Mike Dorian is going to win the first copy. And then you guys can post it again, and I'm going to give away another one. But for all of you on Facebook, again, I can't see your name. So if you have to go to the very top of the comments, and you've got to click that link that allows me to see your name. I don't know why it does this, but I've got to be able to see your name. So click that link. Just bought a Smith and Wesson AR-1522 from Florida Firearms Academy, and I believe they had a few of them in stock. Okay, that's awesome, Jess. Cool. Let's see if there's another question while I wait. Okay, I applied for my concealed carry over 90 days ago. When I contacted them online, they said there was a problem. Is there someone else I can get in contact with to find out what the issue is? Well, why didn't you ask the person that you were talking to online? If the person was able to see that there's a problem, in my opinion, they should be able to tell you what that problem was. And if it was a mistake that you made with your application, they should have sent you a letter saying, hey, you forgot to fill this out, you forgot to get your fingerprints done, whatever. They should have sent you a letter. So, yeah, I don't know. I wish I had more information for you, but I would ask them, like, what is the problem? And they should be able to tell you. All right, so let's see. Chris Scott. Chris Scott, you won the book. So both our winners, send an email to winner@careyuniversity.com, and Tiffany will get that book out to you guys right away. So hopefully you will love it. Ron says, what did Ron say? Any experience with the Rock Island Armory VR80 shotgun? I don't have experience with that particular gun, but what I do know is I personally would never buy any item from Rock Island Armory. So they're made in the Philippines, I believe. They do not harden their metal parts properly, and lots of the metal parts are going to be deformed and misshapen, and the gun just stops working. Listen, I'm telling you guys, this is a common issue with new gun owners. They want to get into the gun world, but they don't want to spend too much money. Like they're trying to just dip a toe in, right? There is a massive difference between the bottom of the barrel guns and the good quality guns. Massive difference. You don't have to spend that much more money, but there's a reason that Rock Island Armory has the reputation that they have. There's a reason they sell their guns for so cheap. I will never own one, never. So take that to heart and just find something else, in my opinion. Ryan R. Conceal carry coming back faster for ex-military with an electronic application. You know, Lloyd, I don't know. They're supposed to process a veteran application first, so you're supposed to skip the line. But this is the government. You know, as a veteran, that the government promises a lot and they deliver very little. I had a family. It was a husband and a wife. Husband's a veteran. Wife is not. He submitted his DD Form 214. The wife got her permit in a matter of weeks, and the husband took months. So there's no logic. It's just the government. Yeah, Sean Ross says, buy once, cry once. It's pretty much it, man. Like, I don't believe in buying cheap stuff. I don't believe in wasting money, but I believe in just getting the good thing that's gonna work, because I don't want to have to replace it, and I want to know that it's gonna work when I need the damn thing to work. All right, so Dan says, how would you compare USCCA membership to others? There's several others. The USCCA is definitely the biggest. So I think it's valuable. I have a membership with them. So if I have it, I must be willing to pay $50 a month for a reason. But I think it's worth it. Okay, somebody says, do you like the Kel Tec PF9 for carry? The PF9 has a lot of recoil, very snappy. The trigger is very strange. It's a double action only, I believe. And I think you're going to have a challenge finding good holsters. Again, I'm not a Kel Tec person. I think Kel Tec purposely tries to make a lot of products that they can never fulfill the orders on. And I think they do that for a reason. They try to have demand up. But it kind of bothers me when I want to buy something and you never have the guns in stock. And I just think that the plastic is very cheap. So that's kind of my opinion. That's why I don't own any. What is a good AR 12 gauge? A Sega 12 gauge. Yeah. Who do you use to cut your slides for your optics? Great question. I've been waiting for somebody to say this. I use a company that I will never use again. So I'm not going to tell you because I'm not interested in bad-mouthing them, but I will never use that company again. If you guys watch my videos, you'll see me talk about them lots. I promoted them lots of times. I will never use them again. Use somebody else. So I have some slides from Zev. That's not the company that I use. Yeah. So I would go with, what's the name of that company? I can't think of it right now. But anyway, just Google it. The company that I have used for like 5 of my slides, I will never use, I will never recommend ever again. Okay, Peter Jostin asks, what do you think about the TISAS M16-9 Turkish military pistol? I have never seen it. That's a very long name. Let's Google it real quick. So Turkish 9mm pistol. It's interesting. So it looks like a SAR. And that's probably what it is. It's a SAR Arms pistol. We used to sell SAR guns all the time. They're okay. One of the challenges that you're going to have with SAR guns is finding good quality holsters because they're not a very common brand in America. You will struggle with finding good quality holsters. So just keep that in mind. Valerie says, can you customize the gun? My gun is black and I want it to have different look. Yeah, so there are, I don't know if Bunker Depot is on here right now. If you go to Bunker Depot, which is an amazing gun store right in Brandon, they have a really awesome Cerakoting guide that they use. But you can get Cerakote done and it's really limitless. It's your ability to customize a gun is based on your budget. If you've got the budget, I had a competitive shooter come into my gun store one day and he said, I want you to make me a fully customized, what was it? I think it was FN 509 tactical or something like that. Or maybe it was, I don't think the 509 was out yet. I don't know what it was, but he wanted a pink Hello Kitty competitive gun, optics ready, and he wanted it to be bedazzled. So I made him this full gun pink. He said, I want people, when I pull this out at a match, to look at me and say like, well, we don't have to worry about that guy. He's not a threat. And then he would just wreck him. So, yeah, it was pretty neat. We put a lot of work in it, but it was a cool gun. All right, guys, I am going to end the live stream right here. I appreciate you. Thank you guys for joining me. And remember, subscribe to the Carry University YouTube channel. Help me grow this sucker. And every Wednesday, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to be right here. So thanks again for watching. And until next time, stay safe.